Hey guys, how you doing today? Last video I showed you the rust repair I was doing on this Camaro. This way. This front lower quarter panel, and a lot of the different pieces and compound pieces that you had to make, and by hand if you don't have the tools, to shrink, stretch, do compound radiuses, 90 degrees, etc. So I finally got that done. So I just figured I'd kind of do a little roundabout with you and show you how it turned out. And I took some pictures of it as I was going, the things I was doing, and I'll try to, drop them pictures in the video here as a little link so you can kind of see the different pieces that I made. And then show you some more of the same on this door that I'm going to have to do. Yeah, you can buy a whole door, $500, $450, or you can buy the inner lower part of the door, which I priced them to about $85, $90, or you can buy a whole outside door skin, which is, I can't remember how much they were. They was under $100, like so it is. I don't remember. But, so you could buy the lower inside door panel and the shell for under $200. I think it's probably like $170, $175. And not have to make these parts. But I'm going to give it a whirl because that right there turned out pretty good. And so I'm going to give it a shot. But I'll do a little walk around with this here real quick and just kind of show you how it turned out. One thing that I did do though, I did buy the outside lower quarter panel because I figured by the time I made that and the hours that I had in making it, I could have bought one of these cheap enough. These only, I paid $35 for it, and that was with shipping. So after I looked that up, I'm like, that's going to save me a lot of time, and but some of the other parts I did have to make, and I had to do a lot of dialing and hammering to get them made. So I'll give you a little walk around, see if and show you what it's like, show how it turned out, so you guys can actually get a visual. If you take your time, you make these parts, you can get that stuff made, and it'll turn out just fine. All you need, after I got it welded in, I'm just going to need a little bit of skim coated body filler, and one of this the joint on the inside of the door part there. We'll need a little bit of body filler and cleaned up. So let me see if I. All right, here we go. Now, see, as you can see, I did buy this outside front lower quarter panel from Classic Industries, and it actually, the piece always actually came up to here. But I didn't need to replace all this. This is good metal. So I just took this bottom half. And as you can see, I got it welded in. And I have to do a little bit of a body filler, a little skim coat, not that big of a deal. And I had to weld in this bottom part. I made this bottom part of this rocker panel from here over by hand and welded that in because it was rusted. And over here, I had to make, because when I cut this out, I cut it down through here and across. So, and as you can see, it's got like a little radius and a little curve down in there in the bottom. Right here and down in here. I had to make this curve, use some dolly hammer and make this curve. Now I didn't weld this seam up right here because if I welded that up, it'd be really hard to get in there and smooth that out or whatnot. So, but it's welded up all along this outside, and I had to weld up that radius, or I made that radius, some dolly and hammered, so it'll match this up here. So it came down, and I got it to match up. And down in here, had to weld it all up. And it comes in the back here. I'm sorry about the camera view. I'm doing this backwards. So everything in the camera is backwards from what I'm looking at. So I'm just going to put like a really skim coat, like take my finger and just rub some body filler right down in the seam just to get it to match up in here. So if I weld that up in there, it's going to be really hard to clean that weld up in there. So, but as you can see, if you take your time and do some fabricating, it turned out pretty good. If you go back in here, I don't know if you can see it because there's no light. Yeah, you can see the little panel I got in there, and I already put a coat of undercoating on that. And a little body filler here to clean this up. You can see where the bottom part of the rocker panel came in, and then like right here, and this is the part of the lower front quarter panel. And I'll just a little skim coat of body fill on there and clean it all up. It'll look all right. So let me take you over to the door. Now this door has got some issues to it. As you can see, the whole bottom of this door down here is just, it's got some rust to it. You can see where the door skin comes over. Right there's a big hole I need to fix. You can see where the door skin rolls around. The lip from the door skin is all rusty. And then this side is not that bad. But as you can see from this side, this corner, that lip that folds up, that comes out and the door skin rolls around it, this is all rusted out all the way up here through here. So, and as you can see, it's got the curve, and it's going to have a 90. I'm going to have to bend down, plus another 90 that comes out and sticks out about a ½ inch that this door skin rolls around, and then it's pinch weld on there. So you're going to have 3 bends plus a radius plus another curve right here. So it's going to be quite challenging. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do that yet, but I'm giving you guys a little visual of what it's going to look like, what I'm dealing with, and then I'll do another little video of after it's done, just like I did that lower front quarter panel. And let me put this back up there. So, and the only reason I don't film all of this and show you everything that I'm doing is because I'm sure you don't want to sit around and watch a 10-hour video, you know. So all I can do is just kind of explain to you how I'm going to approach it, what I'm doing with it, and give you a little video of before and after, just like I did the car on that, you know, on the front lower quarter panel. I will try to drop a link on here of the little pictures of the pieces that I made before I welded them in. I may not be able to. I'm not really too technical savvy as far as dropping links and videos and all that stuff. But I know I show you guys a lot of videos of this bodywork and stuff, but this is stuff that you're going to have to do. This is stuff that's going to need to be done if you want to, if you're fixing your ride up and you're fixing your car up and you want it done right, you want to get rid of the rust. Just like this door, after we started stripping all the paint, that rust was there, and they actually packed body filler all into that, all up here in this corner. I just chiseled it out before I started cutting away some of the rust. They packed body filler all up in there just to hide it, smooth it all out. The rust is still there, and it's gonna, you know, it's gonna keep spreading. So if you want to do it right, you're gonna have to get in there and you're going to have to cut that rust out, and you're gonna replace it with good clean sheet metal. That body's just about done. So I got to get that passenger side quarter panel on, and I'll do a video on that, because let me see if I can get you over there, because that video, I mean, it's like we're replacing the whole quarter panel. See, it's gone. They had a skin on there, but we're going to put the whole quarter panel on there, and that whole quarter panel eliminates all this stuff down here that I replaced on that other side. That quarter panel comes over here and it pinch welds all the way up. It gets rid of this it replaces this whole door jamb. And it comes all the way up, and it comes across right here. This is where the factory solder seam is. And then it comes down this window, pinch welds all the way across this window, and down the trunk. And then all the pinch welds, the rest of the pinch welds come around here, around this bottom, all the way. So I'm gonna have to clean all this out, get all them pinch welds out of there, and put the whole quarter panel on there. So I might do that. I might do that whole video just so you guys can see what you actually have to do, have to approach to get all that done. But like I said, I know I'm doing a lot of bodywork stuff. Some of it's kind of always all the same. The reason I did that video right here is because like I said, you had a bunch of different body pieces coming in together, and you had to, get them all in there together. You had that inside structure piece that came down, and over here you had an inside structure piece that comes down on the inside right here, and the bottom of that was rusted out, so I had to fab that up, weld it. Like I said, that inside part. So that fender well I had to weld up. This piece right here, I had to fab weld up. So that's 3, and then your outside panel is 4, then your rocker panel is 5. So you had 5 different junctions of different pieces you had to fab up to get that, to make that right. So, but it's done and it's good now. But anyway, get that quarter panel on. All the body work is done on this. And it'll be ready for a coat of epoxy primer, just to seal the metal up and get it done. After you put your coat of epoxy primer on there, we're going to start body working it. We're going to start, skim coating these places that I fixed with body filler. That quarter panel over here, whoever had it before, put that rear lower quarter panel on there. And the weld job is just kind of shoddy. Let me move my broom here. I did some work on this yesterday too. You can see the weld. It's just not a good weld. It's kind of booger welded in there. And when they did this, they just got it too hot. And this thing took a big dive, a big dip. And you can see that dip right there. I don't know if you can see the dip in there or not. But right here, there's a big dip. I just can't. It's in this place where I can't get in there and dolly hammer that out. But I did, like, from here over and kind of knocked that out and got it to where it'll just take a skim coat. What they had on here, they had body filler on here that was probably a 1/4 inch thick, because they got that so high it just took a dive. It just dipped in and it looked like a big channel down through there. So I had to do some dollying, hammering, and get that back out. But the quarter panel is still good and still solid, so I didn't want to replace it. I just have to body work this. I had to body work that weld a little bit and clean it up. So, but yeah. Then after we put the epoxy primer on there, we can start fine tuning it, body working it. We'll do that. I'll do a little video on that, and we can start getting this thing ready for paint. I hope to have it ready for paint. She's going to paint it like a cobalt looking blue, I think, metallic. And then it's time for assembly, and that's the exciting part. Once you do all this body work, once you're doing all this repair and stuff, I mean, we still got the doors to do to get done, the hood, trunk lid, front fenders, but I think all of them's in pretty good shape. I don't think there's a lot of rust on them. It's just a matter of getting the old paint off. They got 3 coats of paint on this. Factory paint was tan, then they painted it purple, and now it's green. So I got to get all that off there. I'm not putting 4 coats of paint on this car. So keep tuned in. Hit like, subscribe, tell other people. Let's keep it going. Ask me some questions. I got other videos. I get a lot of questions on my RS over here that I did the TBI to carb. Hell, I'm trying to think. I went from TBI to carb. I got rid of all the fuel injection and went to carburetor. And I get a lot of questions on that. A lot of people want to do that because that TBI system that Chevrolet did. Let me put this camera back now. That TBI system that Chevrolet had back in the mid 80s, early 80s, all the way up to, it's a 92. It had it on there. Not a good design. I'm not a big fan of them. I think they're pretty shitty. So if you have a TBI on there, I'd get rid of it. I mean, I'd get rid of it and put a carburetor on there. Or if you still want fuel injection, get a carbureted intake and just get one of them Holley snipers. You know, it's got everything in it. All your computers and everything in that carburetor, fuel injection, all of it's in that. And then run your computer if you still want fuel injection. But I mean, you could probably still. I think if you go to one of them, you got to get more of a high volume fuel pump, because the TBI fuel pump, 13. I think they're like 13 to 15 pounds. I think if you run one of them snipers, I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me. Message me and tell me. But I think one of them snipers, you need like, 50, 60 pounds of fuel pressure. So you don't have to get a high performance fuel pump. But anyway, stay tuned. Everybody hit like and subscribe. I'll do another video on this door. Once I get them pieces fabbed up, I'm going to try to get a link of the pictures of the pieces that I fabbed up and made for that. If they don't show up on the video, then I apologize. But the next video will probably be showing you at the bottom of this door. Everybody have a good day. See ya.